What's up, YouTube? It's your girl Shayla T, and welcome back to another video. Today we are talking about everything parenting. That's right. Here at this channel, we talk about mommy stuff, we talk about relationship stuff, and we like to sprinkle in a little motivation. But today we're gonna get into this topic as you see below. Okay, so if you're new here, welcome. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, share, and comment on this video. And if you aren't new here, welcome back. So let's get right into today's topic. So when it comes to whooping or spanking or punishing your child, what is too much and what is not enough? So we're going to get into it. There's been a lot of things floating around this week in regards to parenting. And so it's loads for us to talk about and dive into. Okay, so if you haven't seen, there is a viral video going around on Facebook, that's where I seen it, where a mother went to her child's school and spanked him in front of the teachers. But here's where it gets a little tricky. Not only did she just spank him, she was cussing at him, she was yelling at him, all in his face like he was a grown man. And she did this all on camera. So it's sparking a debate. Some people say she was right, some people say she was wrong, but we're going to talk about it because when it comes to spanking or whooping your kid, whatever you call it, it's tricky and there is levels to it. And I'm not going to put this video in my video because it's too much for me. It's like I couldn't even watch the full video because it was too much, but I will put a link of the video down below if you haven't seen it or if you want to check it out. But this woman really did a number on her child. She had a belt, which, we can argue that that's doing too much as well. She had a belt. She, whooped him in front of the teacher. I'm not sure what he did. It's not clear, but at that age, he looks to be about 7-8 years old. In like first grade. I'm assuming it couldn't be that bad. People are saying that allegedly he was talking back to the teacher, which is no bueno. Disrespect, we're not going to tolerate it. But she whooped him pretty bad. And she was very verbally abusive, in my opinion. So this has a debate going on. When anything goes viral regarding, especially a spanking of a kid, it's gonna ruffle a little bit feathers, especially since you have a visual. So let's get right into it. When it comes to spanking, is it right? Is it not right? What's too much? What is too less? Let me tell you my opinion. When it comes down to spanking, I am not spanking my kids. I do not whip my kids. I do not spank them. But that is something that I personally believe. And I am not against spanking. Yes, I said it. I am not against it. But we're going to put a disclaimer. What I am not advocating for is downright abuse or downright beating, because in my opinion, that's what that woman did. Or if she didn't get all the way there, she got mighty darn close. So we're gonna just talk about the spanking part. The reason why I do not believe in spanking your children, because then you have to ask yourself, well, what is the age range? Because in my opinion, that little boy was way too small for her to be pulling at that belt and whacking on him the way that she was doing. And when you get to an age like, well, what should we start? Like, what's the minimum age requirement for a whooping? Clearly, you're not whooping no baby. Okay? Like, we're not gonna do that. That's crazy. Because they can't even understand. They don't even know like what you're doing. So that's a whole nother video. Okay? So you gotta go through that. Like, so are we talking toddler? But then a toddler, you have to evaluate their mental capacity. If you're whooping them for touching something that they mentally have to process and can't even like understand, like, yeah, they understand like, oh, that's hot or that's this. But a child, you're supposed to teach that child. You teach them at a younger age so that way they know, okay, they know that stove is hot. You've practiced what hot means, or they know not to touch an electrical cord. You know, get the little plugins to make sure they're covered. You said, no. That's what you're going to do with a toddler, with a baby. And I feel like we probably can all agree that it's going to be it's never a good time to spank a baby or a toddler. So are we talking about 5 years old, 6 years old? And that's when it gets tricky. That's why for me, it's not something that I participate in. Now, don't get me wrong. There has been times where I've definitely had to discipline my children. I have definitely yelled and got angry. And whether you agree or not, it happens, especially us young mothers. I'm not so young anymore. But I had, child when I was 18, 19. So the patience was much, much lower. Okay, so I get that. There's going to be different forms of discipline. You're going to have to discipline your child as you see fit. And I feel like you should do that as you see fit. Now, here comes the problem. Why? Why are we recording this? Why is this being done outside of your home? If you are for spanking your kid, that's your prerogative to me. Nobody can tell you what you to do with your children, because that might work for your children. Again, for me, I don't feel like it works. I just don't feel like what you're trying to accomplish can get done through that. But that's me. And I should have the right to make that decision, just like you have the right to make your decision however you feel. But when you are going to that child's school and you are posting this on social media, that's where I have the problem. And this is a problem. I've been seeing this all the time. A lot of social media parenting, that's what I call it. Y'all are trying to parent over social media. You're trying to embarrass your child over social media. And you're not even thinking or caring about the consequence. That is the bigger problem in itself. And that screams the bigger problem in itself. Because we're going to use this woman as an example. You want to punish your child for disrespecting and not, disrespecting the teacher or whatever that child may have done, not listening to authority, however you call it. But you can't even articulate yourself enough or control yourself enough in front of a professional setting. Example, the kid's school, and behave in a civilized manner. So how are you going to expect your child to do something that you're not even capable of doing, because you got that message and you were upset and you couldn't even control yourself enough to not violate your child in the craziest way? Because if you felt like your child deserved a whooping or a spanking, whatever you want to call it, and you went up to the school, I feel like there is an approach that should have been done. And you can't get mad at your children for doing something that you cannot do yourself. Let that sink in. I'm going to repeat that. You can't get mad at your children for doing something that you cannot do yourself. You are trying to teach your child something that you cannot physically and literally do yourself. Don't expect your child, it happens. You see, it can be a well-behaved child in a crazy environment. But if you are showing craziness in that environment, don't expect the child not to exhibit that behavior at school. And I am going to put a disclaimer. I know, trust me, I know every time your kid act crazy, it is not always a representation of you, okay? Because you can do everything right. You can put all the great stuff into your kid and they can still go out there and act crazy. So I am not saying that. But I am saying in the instances where you see these children who just are misbehaving and just kind of like, what do you call it? Like a cry out for help, or just, always, when you just see them like, I don't know, just acting out. Sometimes that is a cry out for help, and sometimes they're just mimicking what they see in, a toxic environment. Because you cannot tell me that the environment is not toxic when you have a mother who cannot even behave herself enough to talk to the child's teacher in a good way. Now, I see all of the arguments, and I just want to tell you in a non-biased way, I understand people agree with spanking, some people don't. Like I said, you do what you do and I do what I do, but when it comes to borderline, you borderline beating your child, And then, like I said earlier, then it becomes an age thing. So what is too young? What is too old? Are you going to go do that to a teenager? Are you going to go up to the school and fight your teenager? And if you do that, then what is that going to solve? What are you teaching them? What can they gain from that? And that's what this is about. Y'all. It's getting a little passionate up in here, just a little passionate. But I just want to say, like, I know social media is very prevalent, and the likes and the shares and the comments, it all gets you, and we all want to. We all want to do that, because I want you to like, comment, and share this video. I want you to do that. And I understand that's the world we live in, but when it comes to your parenting, social media parenting is so toxic. We're going to talk about that more in depth. But this is just an example of when social media parenting goes wrong. And, you know, it's been alleged that this woman has went to jail. And, you know, I do understand that sometimes a lot of these parents are broken. And that's why they can't even raise their kids up, because they're broken themselves. They don't even know how to do it themselves. They don't know how to be. This is how they was raised. They got whooping, so they whoop their kids. They don't see nothing wrong with it. But it's a way that you have to do things. And nobody would be questioning this if you did this in the privacy of your own home. But now you have this dialogue, and now you have this video going viral because you chose to go to the school and record you with the belt whooping your child. And you see this all the time. This is not just this woman, and I'm sure this is going to happen again. You see parents take to social media to embarrass, to chastise their child. And I just think it's crazy. And I know we live in this social media world, but I don't see a benefit from that. So I told you my opinion and how I feel about it. I personally don't believe in spanking or whooping your child, but I can see why you could. It's not something that maybe I might have to do, but I'm definitely not going to beat. Okay? We're not going to do that, because that's crazy. Okay, so that's all I got for now. I want to know what y'all think. So was this woman right in what she did? Was she wrong? How? How was she wrong, or how was she right? And do you spank, or do you believe in spanking? Or no? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I want to definitely hear your thoughts on this, because we're going to do another video more in depth. But make sure you know what I need you to do for me. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can be notification gang. Like, comment, and share this video. And I'm out.